The United States Football League, USFL, is a planned professional American football league that is currently scheduled to begin play on April 16, 2022. Connection to 1980s USFL. There is no legal connection between the new entity and the source of its name, the original United States Football League, which operated from 1983 to 1986 and was officially dissolved in 1990. No principals from the former USFL are involved in the current league's ownership. Brian Woods, who had previously launched the Fall Experimental Football League and the Spring League, is the primary owner of the new league and acquired most of the trademarks after the last attempt to revive them, the A11 Football League, let them go dormant after its own failed launch in 2014. The new USFL will not inherit the old USFL's unpaid liabilities, nor its television contract. It will instead hold a new contract with Fox Sports, which already owns both the rights to and an equity stake in the Spring League, and with NBC Sports. According to Steve Earhart, former USFL executive director, he still owns the league rights and that USFL still exists, while stating that the league officials still get monthly royalty checks. He also mentioned that he refused previous attempts to buy the league, including the people who founded the first version of the XFL. Earhart would later explain that he was only trying to protect the league legacy. League history. On June 3, 2021, it was announced that the United States Football League would be making a return and would be kicking off in April of 2022. Fox was also announced as a minority owner in the league. On October 12, 2021, Tad Snyder, the executive director of the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center Authority, announced that the league was in serious discussions with the board of directors of the BJCC about the possibility of the USFL playing all of its games in Birmingham, Alabama. According to initial information, USFL players' staff would be housed in Birmingham during the season for an estimated economic impact of about $15 million, 47,000 hotel nights, while the league would play the bubble season at Protective Stadium and Legion Field. The bubble setup may possibly continue in the league's second year, with as many as 4 teams playing in Birmingham and as many as 4 their respective cities. The teams would then be expected to play in their own cities by Season 3. The proposal includes an 8-team 10-week season with 2 additional playoff rounds, from April 16 through July 3, 2022, with the broadcast proposal as follows: 25% each on Fox, NBC, FS1 and USA. Later on December 15, 2021, Fox and NBC had finalized their agreement. In addition to their broadcasts on TV, the latter was announced that some of the games will be streamed on Peacock, with 17 games split simulcasting between NBC and USA, while the 4 other games will be streaming exclusively on said service. On November 17, 2021, it was announced that the Spring League founder Brian Woods would serve as the league's president, as well as Daryl Johnston as EVP of Football Operations, Mike Pereira as head of officiating, and Edward Hartman as EVP of Business Operations. On January 4, 2022, NBC Sports reported that a player selection meeting would be held on February 22 and 23 to set teams. Training camp will also begin on March 21. On January 6, 2022, 4 of 8 teams unveiled their head coaches and general managers on the herd, with Colin Cowherd, former San Antonio Commanders head coach Mike Riley was named head coach and general manager of the New Jersey Generals. Former Kansas City Chiefs head coach and Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator Todd Haley was named head coach and general manager of the Tampa Bay Bandits. Former NCAA head coach Kevin Sumlin was named head coach and general manager of the Houston Gamblers. Former Toronto Argonauts head coach Bart Andrus was named head coach and general manager of the Philadelphia Stars. 2 weeks later, on January 20, 2022, 2 more head coaches were unveiled on the herd, with Colin Cowherd. Former Louisiana Tech head coach Skip Holtz was named head coach and general manager of the Birmingham Stallions, and former Pittsburgh Steelers running backs coach Kirby Wilson was named head coach and general manager of the Pittsburgh Maulers. The final 2 head coaches were announced the following week on January 27, 2022. Former Houston Oilers, Tennessee Titans and St. Louis, Los Angeles Rams head coach Jeff Fisher was named head coach and general manager of the Michigan Panthers, and former NCAA head coach Larry Fedora was named head coach and general manager of the New Orleans Breakers. On January 25, 2022, the city of Birmingham announced that the league headquarters would be in Birmingham, and all games of the 2022 USFL season would be played at Protective Stadium and Legion Field. The first game is scheduled for April 16, 2022, between the Birmingham Stallions and the New Jersey Generals at Protective Stadium. The game will be broadcast by Fox and NBC, marking the first simulcast of the same football game by networks not owned by the same company since Super Bowl I in 1967, and the first football game simulcast overall since the 2007 NFL regular season finale between the New England Patriots and the New York Giants aired on CBS, NBC, and the NFL Network. Tickets were released to the public at $10 per person. Children aged 15 and under would be admitted for free. On February 16, 2022, the league announced that the 2022 playoffs would be held in Canton, Ohio at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium instead of Birmingham due to conflicting scheduling with the 2022 World Games. On February 17, 2022, the league had revealed uniforms for each team. The following day, the league had announced the draft order for the 2022 USFL Draft. League finances Fox Sports owns the league and reportedly has committed $150 million $200 million over 3 years to its operations, with plans to attract an additional $250 million from investors. For the 2022 season, tickets would be sold at $10 per person, with children aged 15 and under free. Players' compensation USFL players and staff will be able to receive a college degree, tuition-free and debt-free, through a partnership with Strategic Education's Capella University and Strayer University. They will be able to take classes online or in person. Player pay structure will be $45,000 for active roster players, $15,000 for practice squad players, and $600 weekly during training camp. Players will also receive win bonuses of $850 per win and $10,000 for winning the championship. Players will be required to pay their own rent, at a cost of $75 per room per day. Teams. The league announced the 2022 season will be played with minimum of 8 teams. In addition to obtaining the rights to the USFL name and logo, the new league has obtained the rights to the aforementioned former league's team names including the Los Angeles Express, Chicago Blitz, Tampa Bay Bandits, and Houston Gamblers and more. Additionally, the Generals' rights are owned by the Spring League, another Woods entity. Since its original announcement, the USFL had purchased more trademarks including new team names like the Birmingham Stallions, Jacksonville Bulls, and Portland Breakers, and variations on the already existing trademarks. 8 teams were officially announced on the herd with Colin Cowherd on November 22, 2021. Each of the 8 teams will have a 38-man active roster and a 7-man practice squad. References.